So picture this, you're 25 years old, shipped off to Croatia after spending your entire life in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fast forward a couple of years and I got a YouTube channel with millions of views, tens of thousands of subscribers, launched multiple six-figure product launches, how to teach men how to meet women in nightclubs. Soon after that, the YouTube channel destroyed, social media destroyed, the name itself destroyed, and I used my real name where I was going by a fake name before. I'm talking nearly 7 figures of online courses sold, completely disappeared, completely gone away. That's what this video is all about and how to make sure you don't make the same mistake. What up, Wade here, welcome back to Wade Alter Show. So I've had a lot of people checking out the channel. We started putting videos out about a month and a half ago again. And I've seen in the comments people going like, oh my God, I just stumbled across your videos. Where did you come from? What have you been up to? And so I kind of identify myself as a former YouTuber, but I want to get into what you can expect here, what my company's all about, and even what I'm all about, and hopefully you can come along that journey with me. And so really what I do today is help people on the YouTube platform, shift from just being a YouTuber and how to shift into next gear and become a business owner and build a highly profitable business. Looking at YouTube more as a traffic source than as this overall strategy, the be all end all, just staying on that platform specifically and using what I think is the highest leverage way to monetize or like build a business around YouTube. And that's through creating online courses and coaching programs and then streamlining people through YouTube using things like lead magnets, how to create compelling sales copy, and then get them into your world, into your own business, so that you can really leverage things and get out of like the new form of the rat race, which is that YouTube algorithm and sending off a video and just hoping that it hits 100,000 views or 1 million views or something like that. And so if you're new to this channel, you can expect a lot of strategies, tips, techniques related specifically to copywriting. What's the new cutting edge strategies for using YouTube, leveraging that as a great traffic source to really build a successful business. But for this video specifically, I wanna go a little bit step deeper and have you understand my mindset and the methodology where I come from and hopefully get you on that same journey in the same wavelength as me. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's not about financial freedom. It's not about building that. It's like what that highly profitable business can get you. If I look back way when I started off as a coach at 24, is that in a way I kind of accidentally came across this shortcut, which was me being on the road 300 days a year, which was amazing when you're in your 20s. I was single, meeting girls and everywhere from Amsterdam to Stockholm to Rio for Carnival, going to Las Vegas and spending 15 nights in a row going out, not being very healthy when it comes to the liver and stuff like that, but hey, I can't think of a better way to spend your 20s. And so I knew after all that, when I wanted to shift things and move more into the business realm and the self-development realm, is that there was no way I was gonna end up in an office or that typical 9 to 5. I really couldn't do that anyways, related to having a resume that said dating coach on there for 5 years. So I kind of had the scarlet letter on there anyways. But because of that exposure, it led to me prioritizing things a little bit differently and reinforcing what was truly possible. And so for me, at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is freedom. But the thing is freedom, there's a lot of different types of freedom. You have liberty and freedom in that capacity. You have freedom of thought and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about here. There's 4 specific pillars that I want to get into today and show you how this channel is going to help you achieve each of these. And so by far the most important one for me, if you haven't realized already, is location freedom. I need to be able to live wherever I want in the world, not having to go into an office, working when you want to. And for me, that was spending a couple years in Chicago as I was building the business, being close to family in the Midwest. Now it's in Santa Monica, which is just beautiful every single day. So I'm happy, loving that. And there's a lot of business partners that I can connect with here, a lot of influencers and digital marketers. Yet still, if it's wintertime and I want to go up and snowboarding, I can get a little log cabin in Mammoth and just kind of hang out there during the week. And if there's a crazy powder day, go off and hit that, or go off to Spain for a little bit, or Bangkok or Tokyo or any place like that, and be able to run the business from anywhere. That has to be there. I don't care how much money you could make. And so I'm not saying this should be number one for you, but I see too many people that are just frustrated where, I have clients where they make a lot of money doing what they're doing, but they're stuck when it comes to they have to be in a certain location because that's where their clients are. They have a great paying job, but they have to stay in St. Louis, Kansas City or something like that, which is not a bad city or anything like that. It's that's what you love or anything like that. So I'm not gonna hate on that. But I'm saying if you don't wanna be there and you have to be there because of your career, that's not the type of freedom that I'm gonna help you achieve with this channel. Another one that really goes right along with that is time freedom. I really believe for me, the business, it's a vehicle for living the life you want, living the lifestyle that you want. And so it's not about I need to make $100 million, anything like that, or I need to have 100 employees and get stuck in all these sort of ego side of things. And this is why YouTube is such an amazing platform, because each video you create is like an asset and it just builds more views. And if you're working the algorithm correctly, and then you figure out how to siphon those people into a proper business with a great strategy, priming them, using persuasion pieces, marketing and sales, getting them into products and having it all be automated, let me tell you, it's one of the best ways to have that sort of time freedom, because you can go off to Burning Man for a week and not even check your email or check your phone or anything like that. And you come back and there's more money in the bank account than before you left. That's the type of business that truly gives you that freedom. And that's the type of tactics, strategies, and mindsets we're going to be getting into on this channel, which leads us into the third type of freedom. This is mental freedom. And so you could call this self-development, self-actualization, growing in consciousness, emotional intelligence, things like self-esteem, all the goods, all that goodness, because the tactics are important. Yes, of course. But a lot of times, when you want to implement that strategy, whether it's things like procrastination, whether it's a sense of self or a self-worth thing, even things like pricing or, selling, being assertive in the selling process, negotiation tactics, we're gonna get into all that as well, because the tactics, like I said, are important. But if you can't control your own mind, if you're not in control of that, who is? And so if you're like, I wish I was more extroverted, if you're like, I wish I was more assertive, or I wish I could not be so humble and put myself out there more, that's definitely as important as all these. These are these 4 pillars, it's like a 4-legged stool. And so you need all of them, I believe, to truly feel free. And so your priorities might be different about location versus the social versus the mental versus the time. But the thing is, each of them truly are necessary to have that true freedom and live the life that you want. And the fourth and final freedom, something I've spent a lot of time on in my lifetime, is social freedom. And so this really comes down to just having an abundance mentality, having choice, being able to surround yourself with the type of people that you want, because it is so true. It's a stereotype or like a generality for a reason that you are the average of your 5 closest friends. For me, I view it like, I have a master's degree in bacteriology, so I view it like this petri dish. And you want to have the most optimal nutrients as possible for being around people that inspire you, that motivate you. And so I'm going to be bringing people into the channel. We'll be doing interviews. If you've listened to the podcast, I've had a lot of great friends that are, let's come on in, let me peer inside your brain, how you built your brand. Even, I got clients with millions of subscribers. A lot of them have amazing ideas or amazing stories about how they built their brand and built their channel, as well as building it and turning it into a business. But even more than that, how you can get those type of people into your life. How can you find a mentor and easily being able to build that dynamic and having it be a very flourishing, successful relationship, but also, just significant other, how to deal better with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend, especially as an entrepreneur. It's weird being an entrepreneur. It's kind of this weird little thing that employees, if they're in that mindset, they just don't get it. It's just a different type of life, the volatility, the unpredictability. And so there's different ways you need to communicate to people to either build a social circle around that, to communicate with your significant other in an effective way. And so we're gonna get into all that sort of stuff as well, because that's just kind of my background. And really, if I distilled it all down, at the end of the day, what does this all come down to? It's persuasion and influence. It's your ability to communicate effectively, to say things and do things in a certain way that leads to the result that you expect happening more often than not. And so that could be in a marketing perspective, it could be from a sales process, it could be internally and making sure your own congruency is there to where everything you're thinking inside, you actually execute on it. So again, things like procrastination, self-sabotage, removing all that stuff, all the goodness. We're getting into all this. And of course, even very simple strategies related to how to be more persuasive in your copywriting, how to sell more effectively, how to market more effectively. We're gonna get into all this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That's what this channel is all about. And like I said, if you're one of those freedom fighters, if you wanna come along with me, then this is the place to be. And it's because of this ultimate freedom that is what led me to blowing up the other YouTube channel and building this new company. And so if you don't know the story, I used to go by Brad, something that I can't really talk about because my business partners at the time went behind my back and trademarked my name without me realizing it. And so I can't use it. And therefore that's why I had to destroy the channel. And so why did that falling out happen? Really at the end of the day, what it came down to was just a misalignment related to what I wanted to do with the business. My brand was evolving and changing. I went from a dating coach to more like a business coach, basically, self-development for entrepreneurs. And now, like I said, moving more into the copywriting realm and building a whole advertising agency. I could have never done that with the agreement that we had in place. And so really, ultimately, it was just easier for me to go off alone. And so I've had a lot of clients where I've helped them kind of break up with their business partners. And I've also had a lot of clients where they're going into business thinking like, hey, this person would be a great partner. And so to kind of circumvent that for yourself, what I would say is if you're thinking about that, you need to make sure that your values are in alignment with the people that are going along with you. And even more if it's like a 50-50 business partnership, you better make sure that those things are in alignment. But also the thing is that future growth that you have, what direction are you taking things in? What is your ultimate vision? Getting crystal clear on that sort of stuff and making sure they're on the same page. And if that's not the case, you need to go back to your own values and say, what's most important for me? And so again, financial freedom is important, but the thing is that's sort of a means to an end. At the end of the day, what is important to me at least is again, those things like the location and the time. Because the only true scarce resource we have, it's not money, it's time. So spending that time with the people you want to spend it with, teaching the stuff that you want to do, having the type of business that truly feels like it is the vehicle to living the life that you want. And so if you're with clients that you don't want to work with, or you're teaching stuff, or you're putting out videos that you don't want to be doing, or if you feel like you're chained, you have the golden handcuffs on because you're putting out videos just to make sure the YouTube algorithm gets you to where you want to go, I'm going to help you break free of those chains and really shift into the next gear to create the type of business that truly can give you the life that you want. That's what this channel is all about, giving you the tools, strategies, and mindsets to turn your business into a vehicle for living the life you want so you can have that freedom. And so it's good to have you along for the journey. As always, enjoy.